Hi, I'm Betsy Leatherman, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the Leadership Circle Profile Model. If you were to think of this circle as the globe and imagine that this was the equator line, anything north of that line, that's what we call the creative competencies. Creative competencies are leadership behaviors that are long-term focused in nature, and they are highly correlated with leadership effectiveness and business performance. They are leadership behaviors that tend to be engaging, inspiring, and unleashing of energy in the system. They truly scale the capacity and capability of the organization. Anything south of that line, that's what we call the reactive tendencies. And these are also leadership behaviors that get results. They tend to do that in a short time frame, and they often cost the system around the leader or the leader quite a bit of energy. So the top is creative and the bottom is reactive. The left-hand side are all relationship in nature, and the right-hand side are all task. So if you were to think of it in 4 quadrants, it would be creative relationship, reactive relationship, and creative task and reactive task. So the way this works, there is an inner circle and an outer circle of leadership competencies. The inner circle creative competencies are relating, self-awareness, authenticity, systems awareness, and achieving. And the inner circle reactive dimensions are complying, protecting, and controlling. So if you were to take any of these inner circle dimensions and ask yourself, what is this really made up of? All you have to do is go to the outer dimension to understand that. So for relating, as an example, you go to the outer dimensions and you see that caring connection, fosters team play, collaborator, mentoring and developing, and interpersonal intelligence are the outer dimension categories for relating. For self-awareness, it's selfless leader, balance, composure, and personal learner. For authenticity, it's integrity and courageous authenticity. And for systems awareness, it's community concern, sustainable productivity, and systems thinker. And finally, in achieving, strategic focus, purposeful and visionary, achieves results, and decisiveness. Those are all of the inner and outer competencies on the creative side of the model. In reactive, complying is made up of conservative, pleasing, belonging, and passive. Protecting is made up of distance, critical, and arrogance. And finally, controlling is made up of autocratic, ambition, driven, and perfect. When you receive your results, you'll have access to your raw scores, your percentile scores, and your self-scores. Your percentile scores will essentially tell you how you stack up against the spectrum of leaders that have taken the profile, and your self-score is how you rate yourself. Your self-score will be shown using a gray bar, and your percentile scores will be shown using green shading. You will be compared to a norm group that accurately reflects the state of global leadership. So for example, if the green shading were to go to the 70th mark on mentoring and developing, that means 70% of the leaders score below you in that particular category. So that's a little bit about the Leadership Circle Profile Model. In your debrief session, your coach will tell you much more. You'll get a better understanding of how the model works as both an assessment tool and a model of leadership behavior. Be sure to watch the next video, What to Expect in Your Debrief, so you can be adequately prepared for that conversation.